want to get out of the mind, because there's
Okay.
another intelligence that wants to come through. And if you can think about it, the mind is static, it's noise. You know, that voice that you hear in your head, the one that sounds like you, it's not who you are. That's not you. That is a culmination of all the voices, all the people who've told you, don't do this, don't do this. Why are you doing this? You're stupid when you do that. That is the conditioning. The true essence of who you are can only be heard through the heart. And that's why it is so important to sit still. Because when you sit still, it's like if you take a glass of water and you put mud in it and you mix it up. There's a glass, it's murky, you can't see. But if you put that glass down and you let it settle, then there's clarity. And the best way to know whether you're hearing something that's from your heart or something that is from the mind is the mind is very aggressive. Oh, you should have done this, blah, blah. You have to do this. You better do this. You should have, could have, would have all this kind of terminology. You're late for this. You're going to miss that. Whereas the heart will be, you're right on time. You can't be late for anything. And it speaks much gentler. It's love. It's only love. And that will normally come in with a thought dropping in or a sign that you see outside. You will know the difference. But in order to do that, in order to feel the difference, because it's all about feeling, this is why I talk, you're moving from thinking, which is a particular language, into another language, which is feeling. And the only way you can do that is by sitting still. Yes. When you sit still, what is it? What is, okay, so it was very torturous for me in the beginning as well. What is
Okay.
it that you do when you sit still? What is your technique? So now, can you see that one? The one that wants to send you on all the quests. You have to
Yeah.
go do
Yeah.
this. You have to go read this book. You have to go and there's always something that the mind
Yeah.
will send you on to do. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
There's something broken.
Yeah.
And so now the sitting still, why it's so important is to learn to allow that one to be there. Now remember I spoke about the inner child. Think of the mind as the inner child that's throwing a tantrum now. Blah, 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 blah. Instead of going, hey, shut up, get away, stop it, I'm trying to stop my thoughts. Don't try and stop them. You cannot stop them because you are not the one thinking your thoughts. They are
Yeah.
directly linked to your vibrational set point. So if you can
Mm.
think of like a channels of TVs, like different bouquets. I don't know if you get that in your country. You can buy this level that will allow you to have these shows, and then you can have
Yes.
another level. Okay, so if at this particular vibration, these are the thoughts that are available to you. It's a
Okay.
bandwidth.
Okay.
They're not your thoughts. They are available to everybody in that bandwidth. So they are, if you can look at them as Google click ads, whoop, uh, all of a sudden this thought comes into my head. It's just an option. It's not who you are. So the minute I attach to it, I go into that reality. So the idea, and so, okay, so the more you raise your vibration, so at a low vibration, these will be dense thoughts that are available to you. The higher your vibration goes, the lighter the thoughts and the ideas that will be available to you. So when you go into being still, it's not about trying to control those thoughts. You can never ever do that. The game is to learn to observe them as a third person, to bring yourself into an observer role. So
Okay.
what I find useful is I focus all my attention on the breath going in and out of my nostril. So you close your eyes and you focus, and you'll find that your mind will go, you bring it back. You keep bringing it back. That is your only role. That is all you have to do. And pick a time. So say, okay, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes. And then sit there, try not to move for 10 minutes, and just bring every time your mind goes away, bring it back. And you can ask yourself questions like, is the air going in my left nostril or my right nostril? Is the air cold when it goes in, different temperature when it comes out? And so start getting an acute focus of the air going in and out of your nose. And that is all you have to do. Set a time that is not ridiculous, that you feel is manageable, and then challenge yourself to do that every day. At every single time, the same day, I'm going to sit and this is what I'm going to do for myself. And when you start doing this, you will start observing the narrative of your thoughts. And I don't know if you like to journal, I'm not much of a journaler, but if you start writing these down and recording, those thoughts will start creating certain patterns, which will help you understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. And once you can catch those patterns, once you've seen it and you've shone that light on it, it's a matter of time before you can change it. Because a thought is a thought, and it's only a thought. You can change thoughts. You pick different ones that serve your highest good in a better light. You are picking them, but you're not creating them. So they are there. But if I attach to one, so if I have a thought and I go, okay, let me go with that thought, then it will take me into a place. And you can do this when you're meditating. When sit and observe, you'll see your mind will take you somewhere. You're like, oh, geez, I'm here now. Okay, bring myself back. And you bring yourself back to your nose, your breathing. And then you'll find, oh, I'm here. But the more you practice, then you'll start to find you get into this place there's a gap. There's a gap between what's happening and you can now observe. And the more you are able to sit still and be in your body, then you create this, and this gap starts to come. So when eventually you're in a conversation with somebody and somebody says something, you create this gap. And now it's almost like you seeing the world in slow motion, because now you can go, I did that last time. I'm not going to react the same way. This time I'm going to choose this. And if you're doing it in a delay, so a couple of days later, you get to, because what you're doing is reprogramming your mind. You go to whoever you're going and you say, whatever it is, let's say you got into an argument, listen, this is how I showed up here. This is not how I want to show up. This is how I want to show up, and you make it right.